What's up, concert addicts? Johnny Kinsvater here with Concert Addiction with some more festival news. We've had a lot of lineups drop over the past couple weeks, as they usually do during this time of year. A lot of these festivals take place during the summer, so getting the word out in January is a good way to give people enough time to get their tickets and get super excited about it. The latest one is the announcement from Rockfest, the annual festival that takes place in Wisconsin every year. This year's event is going to run from July 18th to July 20th, July 17th, rather, until July 20th. There's an extra day in there. It runs from Thursday to Saturday, but Wednesday night they're having what they're calling the bonus bash, which has even more music. So if you get there early, you have this to enjoy as well. And I've never been to Rockfest before, and the lineup is kind of similar to other festivals on the circuit that have already announced their lineups, but we'll get right into it, and we'll start with that bonus bash that I was mentioning, the Wednesday night bonus bash, which is only accessible to people who hold 3-day tickets. So if you bought a 1-day ticket to this festival, you might have to buy another ticket to the Wednesday night, or you might not even be able to get in at all. But if you bought a 3-day pass, you get this as a bonus, which I think is a fucking awesome thing that I think more festivals should do, and maybe they do, but I'm unaware of it, and I think it's really cool. On that night, it's going to be Jackal, Striper, Kix, and Boba Flex. So a lot of hair metal flavor in there, and kind of older style hair metal too, but I think that's awesome, and it'll be a great way to kick off the weekend, or the festival rather, since it begins on Thursday, not really a weekend, but great start. It's those are good warm-up bands, I feel like, because if they were just part of the lineup, if they weren't on their own night, they would be lower on the bill, they'd be earlier in the day, so they would act as a warm-up band for, a night of a festival. So the fact that they're warming up with their own night, warming up the entire festival, that's a great idea. And yeah, they got some great bands to do it. Even though it would have been cool to see any of these bands sprinkled throughout the rest of the lineup, giving them a spotlight on their own day is pretty fucking cool. Then we'll go to Thursday, July 18th, the first official day of the festival. 2 headliners are going to be Evanescence and Mastodon. Then we got Skillet, Starset of Mice and Men, Static X, Devil Driver, Sylar, Dope, and Revenant Soul. That's about all the bands or artists that I recognize on here. And I'm just not going to talk about the ones that I don't know anything about, because there's no point in that, but I will post a link like I always do where you can see the full lineup for yourself, because you probably know more than I do. Obviously, they got some good gets in here. Skillet, I clearly enjoy Skillet, and mostly because I saw them live. Their live show is fantastic. Their music is pretty good too, but you should see them for their live show. If you're a fan of their music, it's a bonus, but my fandom for them definitely doubled after seeing them live. There's just something about how they do their live shows that just resonated with me for some reason. I have a review on my website you can read if you want more details as to why. But yeah, that's a good pick for that. And that adds variety too, because even though they're a Christian rock band, they have the same style and same sound as some of these other rock bands, and so it does add variety, but it also fits in with the sound of these other bands, with the exception of Mice and Men and Mastodon. They're pretty they're quite heavier, but they also got, looks like, the Static X tour that I just talked about, co-headliner with Devil Driver, celebrating the 20th anniversary of Wisconsin Death Trip. Pretty much everybody that's on that tour is on this night of the festival. And so that's cool. I like when big tours come through and you get to see all the bands in the festival, plus all these other bands, because it's cool to just go to the tour and see them in a club, but to see the tour at a festival, in a festival setting where you get all these other bonus bands, that's cool too. And Evanescence has popped up on a couple of these lineups that I've talked about, and that's cool that they're making their way back into the festival circuit, I guess, because I haven't seen them in recent memory anyways pop up on too many of these things. I know they've pretty much just done small scale touring over here that I'm aware of. They haven't come through my area recently. One of my friends went to see them last year just because she wanted to. She had to drive all the way to New Mexico because they weren't coming anywhere close, and they haven't come anywhere close for quite some time. But they have stayed busy. I know they played a show at the Ryman a couple years ago and things like that, but it is cool to see them coming back to the mainstream and playing a huge festival like this. Then Friday, July 19th, Headliners will be Five Finger Death Punch and Breaking Benjamin, who are familiar with each other because they've done touring on and off together for at least the past 2 years, and so that's a good pick to have both of them headline one night. Also on that day, 3 Days Grace, Killswitch Engage, Asking Alexandria, Bad Wolves, Ice Nine Kills, From Ashes to New, Icy Stars, and that'll be as far as I go on this one. 3 Days Grace, obviously very busy this year also, touring with Disturbed and hitting the festival circuit as well. They popped up on a couple of them. So that's a good pick for this. Five Finger Death Punch, obviously another one of my favorite groups, and they really light up the festival environment. They're a perfect band for a festival. People complain that their music is formulaic and blah 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 whatever, but that just makes for a funner time because their songs are easier to sing to and easier to go crazy to. So. And, people bitch about them, but they keep getting picked to headline all these major festivals year after year after year. So even if you don't like them, that doesn't really mean shit, because clearly other people do. The fact that they just keep getting invited back, it shows that just because people like to talk shit online, it doesn't really mean anything, because, yeah, they're on all these festivals year after year, and it's cool to keep seeing them. Bad Wolves obviously got their big kick from the Five Finger Death Punch situation, and so it's cool to see them growing and popping up on more of these festivals as well. And this band is going to be around for the long run, in my opinion. Their album last year, Disobey, was my favorite album of any genre that came out last year, and I saw them on tour last year too. They're a fun live band, and they're lower on the bill for the day, which is disappointing because of how much I enjoy them. I would like to see them closer to being a headliner. But I will say, last year when I saw them, they were opening for Five Finger Death Punch. And they played before of Mice and Men as well. And it was Tommy Veck's charisma and just everything about his persona on stage. They're a great opening band. I'm not saying that they won't be an awesome headliner someday too, but he's just got a great way of getting the crowd hyped up and just energized. And yeah, the energy that comes with their performance is a great way to start a festival. So if they're earlier in the day, that's a smart move, because it's just going to get everyone more excited for what's to come at the end of the day. And there's solid bands in here, so it's not like they can set the bar too high. Yeah, good day Friday too. So let's keep going. Saturday, the final day, headlined by Rob Zombie and Marilyn Manson, who are also headlining a night of Rock USA and who toured together last year. It's pretty exciting to see these two guys still playing shows quite a bit together. I know this isn't like a standalone concert. It's not another tour or anything like that. But the fact that they're still working this closely together is reassuring, because obviously they tried to tour together in the past. I think it was like early 2000s or early 2010s, I think. I can't remember. They tried to do the Twins of Evil tour and it fell apart just because I guess egos got too big. Who knows? So people weren't entirely sure how it would work out last year, especially because Marilyn Manson is always finding himself in trouble, but more frequently over the past year than in other recent years, or the past 2 years rather. He's had incidents with him, being drunk on stage, not being able to get through a show, and just putting on shitty performances. So people weren't really sure that the Rob Zombie thing, the tour, would work that well, because Rob Zombie's pretty professional. He has a blast at his shows, but if his co-headliner is, being drunk and not taking shit seriously and putting on a shitty performance, he might not enjoy that. So people weren't entirely sure how the tour would work out, but it worked out great. They sold a shit ton of tickets. They entertained thousands of people, and they're keeping it going by playing these festivals this year, and maybe we'll get a third edition of the Twins of Evil tour if they keep working together like this. So that's very exciting to see. Also on that day is In This Moment, who I just made a video talking about. They're doing a lot of touring this year. They're going to the UK later this year with Hailstorm, and they're doing a short tour by themselves in May with Seven Dust, that they're headlining with Seven Dust and Hype, and I can't remember who else is on that one. But they're also hitting the festival circuit hard. So they have a busy year, and this is just another one of the festivals they're playing. I Prevail is one of these bands that's come up, another one that's come up very fast over the past couple of years. They did a headlining tour 2 years ago, where they had We Came as Romans opening for them, and I Prevail had only been around for a couple of years, and they already had bands like that opening for them. Oh, Escape the Fate was on that too. So that shows that their prominence and that they're not slowing down either. Even though I don't believe they followed up their debut album yet, but they're still getting a lot of success from their last one with songs still, being played on the radio and having success. And they're playing the festival circuit a lot. So yeah, cool to see them keep going. POD is another band that plays a lot of festivals. They're at Rocklahoma like every other year. So they're a perfect pick for this because if they want to do it, you should let them do it. And because obviously, like I said with Five Finger Death Punch, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. This is another one people bitch about always seeing on the festival circuit, but it works. And it also is the same kind of thing with Skillet, just because you might not agree with their beliefs or whatever you feel like their music is pushing. They keep getting invited back to these festivals, so obviously it works for the rock music festival setting, even though it might not be what you're into. Then Red Sun Rising, Hyro the Hero, Joyous Wolf, and Eve to Adam. Oh, yeah, so there's one more I want to mention on this, but I'll talk about those for a sec. Red Sun Rising, they've toured by themselves, they tour with Pop Evil, and they play festivals all the time, and they're slowly moving up on the bills too, which is exciting to see. And Hyro the Hero, he's one that's been around for quite some time, but for whatever reason, just over the past 2 years, he's beginning to see more success. And I think part of that might be because of his involvement with Headbangers Con, because a lot of people who aren't familiar with him were exposed to him through that. And now he's playing a couple festivals this year, and he might have one of these stories where he blows up this year after working hard for all these years. And his thing is he brings diversity and just a new style to the genre that hasn't been seen in a while, and kind of not like that ever. So excited to see him seeing success as well. And then the one more I want to mention on that is Jacob Cade, and that's just because I'm excited. He's a Colorado boy like me, and so it's cool to see him getting big gigs like this. So I just want to throw a mention there. Rock Fest. I guess that's just what it's called. Rock Fest, where we just rock. Lineup is out. Looks stacked. I'll post a link in the description where you can see the full lineup and buy your tickets and more information and things like that. Make sure to like this video if you liked it and subscribe to the channel. Also check out my Facebook page, facebook.com/concertaddiction, and my website, concertaddiction.com, and go get your tickets to Rock Fest. Thanks for watching, and until next time.